Ready? I'm ready too. Let's get this going. Joseph F. Price in the house. Joey P. Coach J. Yeah, just got done doing podcasts a little bit earlier. I see why on TV they do rehearsals because it took me a minute to get warmed up there. And I think on TV, like the sportscasters and newscasters, they come in and they do, I think, like an hour, and then they actually do the real thing so that they can warm up. They kind of do it and scrape it. I don't know what I would do with the last session. I felt that the meat was there, but I didn't think that the presentation was, uh, you know, wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. But it's not so much about the presentation. It really is about the meat because the presentation isn't going to do it. It's you going to work on your recovery that's going to do it. The presentation is not going to do it. But I did put on a jazzy background just to kind of help you guys out and everything like that. So let me get started. I think I promised something to you. I don't even know what I'm going to do here. I do. Today, we're actually going to talk about mindset, which I think is it's always going to be it's going to be the thing. Everything is always going to come down to your mindset. Like you hear about these athletes, what does it come down to? Mindset. Um, any, I'm just not going to waste my time on it. It comes down to mindset. Part of that, I keep emphasizing over and over and over again that this is a journey about becoming. I keep emphasizing over and over again that this is a 3-phase process. You got to learn behavior skills. You have to heal, and then it's about becoming the best version of yourself, or some language like that. And that's really what this is about. And it's not about taking showers real quick and some kind of one and done experience. This is a journey, and it takes a while for people. And the thing that makes me always laugh is like, you didn't get here in one day, so you're not going to get out of here in one day. But the nice thing is that if you do some of the work that we're talking about, you can get some relief. You'll be able to, have some supremacy. But the entire journey, it's going to take a little while. So, like, if you think it's just going to be one and done, it's not going to be one and done. Go in different forums and I see people, they say, "Oh, I got 30 days, ask me anything," or 100 days, ask me anything, or 180 days, ask me anything. Look, I almost want to die laughing every time I see it because, first of all, the dude's counting days, which is something that any real professional gonna dissuade the person from doing. Only day I want to count is day one. After day one, I don't want to count no more days. We can acknowledge it, the year mark if you'd like, or the couple year mark. That's fine. I'm not going to dissuade against that. But this business of counting days, if you counting days, you're missing on something, because see, this is about becoming. So if you're counting days, then you're not even doing the work. I mean, that's just like if it for a busybody, right? A busybody is not able to tend to their own, because you can't tend to your own and tend to somebody else. And it's just like, if you're counting days, there's something about this recovery journey, I assure you, that you're missing. And I'm going to suspect that it's a little bit of a precarious recovery journey, whether you're willing to admit to it or not. Now, I'm not going to debate about it, but I do know that it's more than just wishing something would happen. You really do have to become a different person. change your mind, rewire your brain, rewire your physiology, rewire the person that you are. And I've said it before. Recovery is that day. It's a day of reckoning. The day that you decide you want to recover, with that is a day of reckoning. Life is saying, "Excuse me, I don't like the way you're operating." And so I'm here to have this little interruption. So it's more than just dealing with one thing, it's about dealing with all of it. It's a crisis that's time to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed properly. And along with the crisis is it's again, excuse me, the guy you are, you can't, you know, life allowed you to be that guy, but it ain't allowing you to be that guy anymore. And so when you acknowledge that, it just makes the journey so much easier, because that's really what the journey's calling. It's calling you to do something different. It's calling you to be a different person, and it's saying no longer are certain things acceptable. Okay? So, let me talk about the porn mindset, and I'll do the best I can at trying to remember all the things that I wanted to say, and also making sure that I say those things to you, because I don't really want to miss anything, nor do you want. So basically, some of the components about this addiction, obviously, it's a physiological component. We talked about neurochemicals, dopamine, vasopressin, oxytocin, serotonin, vasopressin, probably some others. And that's, what we flood that in our brain. Our brain ain't used to all that juice, so therefore it kind of resists it. And then, we just flood it with more. And it's an ongoing escalation battle. And we go up and we do this and we do that. And it gets worse by the day. It continuously gets worse, because what happens is, like I said, our body isn't trained or made to be hyper stimulated the way that pornography does. And because of that hyper stimulation, our body desensitizes itself. And then what we do is, to compensate for that, we escalate. And that's basically what happens. This really it's escalation. Like some things, they don't escalate as high, but this one, it does escalate, and it escalates for the reasons that I mentioned. So, as I said, this is a journey that requires patience. So, there is a fix. You can fix stuff, but how could you fix something unless you knew what it was? Like, if you don't know what it is that you're trying to fix, it's like a mechanic going to the it's like going to the mechanic, and the mechanic doesn't even know what's wrong, and you can't tell him what's wrong. You just give him a car and say that there's something wrong. I mean, it's not going to work. So basically, you need to understand how porn has influenced your mindset. What is the mindset that you've developed? And then come up with a strategy. And most programs will help you with the strategy and program to get rid of the pornified mindset. But you've developed a pornified mindset, and that's one of the driving factors in your porn usage. And what happens is, a lot of times people think that not doing this porn is like not biting your nails, but it's not that kind of party. It really isn't. It's requiring a life change. I mean, I used to smoke cigarettes, and not smoking cigarettes is not about a life change like that. Alcohol, yeah. But this is like a total life change. total. You can get off alcohol. I know tons of people that change. You got to change a bunch. But this is like a total change. And that's what I think a lot of people are resistant. And I don't mean like you change your name, that caliber of change. But yeah, really big change in how you think, how you operate, how you treat people, how you speak, how you walk, things of that nature. And so, as long as you have the porn mindset or sex addiction mindset, it's pretty much the same. As long as you have that mindset, the behavior that comes out of that mindset will continue. So, basically, not doing porn, I mean, if you were really going to try to make it simple, it's developing a healthy mindset. It's also part of what has to happen in developing that healthy mindset is you got to have an identity shift. The identity of a person that doesn't do porn, the identity of a person that's healthy. And you also have to have a heart shift, the heart of a person that doesn't do porn. So you got, like I said, there's things working against you. You got the heart of a porn addict. You have the identity of a porn addict. You behave like a porn addict. You think like a porn addict. You have a porn addict mindset. You know, those are like kind of clues why it's so difficult. So what we want to teach you how to do methodically is to eradicate that mindset and to shift all of that to that of a person, that is healthy. And all you would be doing is repeating what other people have done who have gotten there. Now, one of the first places that I would start in terms of part of the porn mindset, because it's not like one thing in terms of what is the porn mindset. It's like a whole bunch of components that kind of blend themselves together. And in this day and age, one of the things that you cannot avoid is that the person doesn't have any kind of supremacy over their phone. First thing they do every day is they get on their phone. They just get on their phone and do stuff. And then they do stuff randomly, and then they lose track of time, and then they do stuff, and then they wish they would have did stuff, and then they start putting stuff off because they got tired because they did a whole bunch of stuff that seemed important and it wasn't important. They've got like 50 different platforms that they're communicating across, really not talking about anything, but that's what they're doing. And it's a little bit overwhelming. So basically part of the porn's mindset is little things like out of control with your electronics. Why do you need to control? Why do you need to communicate with people on all those different platforms? Why don't you kind of minimize the amount of platforms that you're on? Whatever reason, I mean, there's a reason why you're on the platform. Stay on the platforms that you feel are most effective. But why would you spread yourself out that wide? Oh yeah, and you probably got like 25 different email addresses too. So it's very different. So you've got to change your relationship with the electronics. That's one of the first things about the pornified mindset. I can't pinpoint what it is, so I'm not going to. Maybe you think those things are toys and that you haven't, you're not taking them as serious. I don't know what it is, but there's something that's dysfunctional about your relationships between electronic devices, mainly the phone, but not just the phone and PCs and everything else. I'll leave that up to you to figure out what it is, but there's something about that relationship that's not healthy, that needs to be changed, that also funnels in and fuels into your pornified mindset. Second thing that I would say that in terms of the pornified mindset that needs to be addressed is, how is it that you treat women? Just how is it that you treat women as a whole? How is it you treat your partners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Because one of the things that people don't realize unconsciously is that people are influenced in how they treat women by things that they see in porn. And it may not be because they find the things so attractive, but it's because they see the things repetitively over and over and over again. And so in a nutshell, porn does not teach people the best way to treat women, because part of the whole porn how should I say it, mentality or gratification providing device, part of that is to just give you pleasure. So it's not about anybody else. It's all about you. You know, how can we make you happy with your dirty jokes? How can we make make you laugh? How can you be disrespectful to the waitress and that makes you feel more powerful? How can you be disrespectful to your coworker and that makes you feel more powerful? In some cases, people go as far as exposing themselves, and somehow that makes them feel more powerful. People go all kinds of different ways, and then they think that the person that they expose themselves to wants to see that. And that's the kind of thing that happens out of the porn mindset, that some stranger wants to see somebody expose themselves, and that a woman is really like even excited about something like that, which again, that's a warped mindset. Because what you'll find is, as you get out of the porn books and get into like really having conversations with women and stuff like that, and learning, you'll find that their interests and your interests are diametrically opposed. So therefore, in order for you to, kind of connect in a real deep way, you're going to have to do some shifting. Some people, porn has been their sex education, and really that's not fair for the person that's gotten their education through porn and the person that thinks that porn is in fact a device or a tool to educate them about sex. It's not. It's a tool to educate them pretty much the wrong way. That sex is all about some man's pleasure. No, it's a mutual expression. It's an expression of intimacy. See, porn takes out the intimacy part of sex and makes it so mechanical. And then, it becomes a total desensitized process that actually becomes like an abuse. It starts to cross a line to where people are actually abusing their partners without even realizing it. I'll tell you one thing. I tell you over and over and over again. You'll never find these guys like Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Jeffrey Epstein, Jarrett. You never find these guys that get all caught up in some kind of sexual nonsense. You never find them without porn, because them getting caught up in some form of abuse, sexual violence is something that comes out of the pornified mindset. It just does. All that, anybody that's been accused of that, like over and over again, that you think really did it's always going to be something to do with it. What Jeffrey Jarrett, what was the thing that got him? Child porn, right? What was the thing that got R. Kelly? Child porn, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's what got him. Yeah. Okay. And how did it become child porn? Well, it started out as real porn. And then what happened was real porn wasn't doing it for him. And you know what? These little girls, he knows he's not supposed to do this. And ooh, is anybody not look? They're not looking. Oh, they're not looking. Oh, I like it. I like it. I'm not gonna let nobody know. And then it becomes all of that. And then the next thing you know, the people destroy lives that they come in contact with, and they also end up destroying their own life. So, and if you thought about those people just for a second, one of the things until they got caught that they lived secretively until it came out. And that's part of the pornified mindset, is that there's a lot of secretiveness. You're very secretive. Secret about this. Ooh, secret about that. Oh, let me be secret about how I'm going to look at my phone. Everything. And you, hate to break the news to you. Studies show that you lie a lot. We don't even need studies to tell us we work with you. You lie a lot. Matter of fact, you lie way too much. That's actually part of the pornified mindset. You'll know that you're healing. One of the indicators is that your compelling need to lie is diminished, and actually the end result is that you'll lie less. And I think maybe one of the things that'll happen is that you'll embrace. Maybe you'll listen to what I'm saying, or maybe you'll just embrace. People lie because they don't want to face the truth. They think the truth is harder than that lie that they're going to tell. I'm not here to get into is it or is it not. That's why they lie. And most of the time, it isn't the truth. But it's just that they want to avoid the pain of the reality. And many times it's going to happen anyway. But that's why people lie, because they want to avoid the pain. And that's part of the immaturity. And that's part of, again, the pornified mindset. Can't take pain. It's got a low threshold of pain tolerance. So it runs from pain every chance that it possibly can get. And as a result of running, it turns out that it's undisciplined, or it may appear undisciplined. Bottom line is undisciplined. You're a procrastinator because of the fact that the pain, it's like, hey, if I can avoid, pain goes away. And that's the whole MO, is avoiding pain. And then sometimes your MO is even worse. You want to self-soothe to reverse any kind of sting. So, as I was going to say, there's a pattern in how you talk to women. You tell dirty jokes. It's part of the porn mindset. You send naughty pictures. Women don't really like that. You think that's okay. You think it's funny. They don't like that. What happens oftentimes is we live in there's a fantasy world that's created, because everything that's in porn is really a fantasy. There's nothing that's real about that. And because it's a fantasy all the time, there's a line that gets crossed sometimes in people's lives when they think about things that they saw in porn and then bring it into real life. And what happens is fantasy crosses the line into reality and criminality. To Catch a Predator is a great example of a bunch of people where that happened. And that's one of the things that as a person loses their pornified mindset, we find that their sense of justice increases. And when you don't have a sense of justice, also, you don't have a sense of restraint. And we find that people gain a greater sense of justice. They find that porn addicts are more likely, the pornified mindset is more likely to sit there and just watch a woman get abused as opposed to a person who doesn't watch porn. Their tolerance level is much lower. Hey, let me tell you something. A person who watches porn thinks it's okay to randomly send a picture of genitalia. Person who watches porn thinks it's okay to walk into a Walmart and wear a pair of shorts with no underwear on and then pull the shorts up to their neck so people can see their genitalia. And then they get caught for foolishness like that. So, I'd advise you not to do anything like that. The pornified mind thinks stuff like that's okay. It thinks disgusting stuff like that is okay. It thinks stuff like that and disgusting language and sending pictures of genitalia. They think that's okay. That's what the pornified mind does. And it also tells you a bunch of lies about how to treat women. And it tells you stuff like they want you to stick your finger up their butt. They don't want you to stick their finger up. They don't want you to do that. It also tells you lies that these women want you to ejaculate on their face. They don't want you to ejaculate on their face. Now, what happens is some of them, they watch that porn with you and they got desensitized about all those splashes that they belittle themselves down to that because you asked them. And see, that's what the pornified mindset would do. Is it thinks it's okay to do something like that. I mean, I don't think you would feel it's okay if somebody did your daughter or your sister like that, splash their faces like that. R. Kelly, he thought it was okay to spread feces all over people. See? Pornified mindset. This is a fact. He peeing all over people. He peeing all over people in his own house. Now, that's the pornified mindset. This man had a bed in his house and he had people in the house. And he peed on these women in his house. How do you think about that? I mean, I ain't trying to trigger you. I'm not trying to do all that. But see, that's the pornified mindset. That's some kind of excitement that that it escalates to where this is somebody you're supposed to care about. This is how you show somebody affection. Whatever, I don't know, golden shower. See, golden shower. This is the kind of crap that comes out of porn. Golden showers, right? All this kind of goofy stuff. By the way, sissy porn comes out of porn, right? Men look at women. They look at so much porn, then they want to become sissies and look at porn, sissy porn, and then these guys turn into gay porn. Because like I told you, I'm not so sure that it's not even about being sure. Look, if Adam wasn't even supposed to see Eve naked, and the apple allowed Adam to see Eve naked, but Adam wasn't even supposed to see Eve's goodies all like that. What makes it? What makes you think that you were designed to see Eve's, whatever granddaughter's body that way? You weren't. That's first of all. But here's where it gets interesting. And I just finished saying you weren't designed to see all of those women. And I'll say it again. You weren't designed to see all those women. You know, something I think about is that you can see more women probably in 5 minutes over the internet than a couple generations back, cumulatively, all the way back to Adam. You know how they do those genealogies in the Bible? You could probably go all the way back to Adam. All those women that all your ancestors saw. You can see more women than them combined probably in 5 minutes these days over the internet. You can see. And you weren't even made to see one. Or maybe you were designed to see just one. I'm not going to get in the debate about that. The real debate is you weren't made to see all those women. But I'm proposing to you and submitting that you weren't designed to see any. Same brain as Adam. But that's for another debate. I don't even care about being right about that. You weren't designed to see all those women. Now here's the punchline. I'm gonna get to something serious in about 7 seconds. Yeah, we established you weren't designed to see all them women. So what about all those naked men that you've been looking at? Because like if you're watching porn, like, you know, without getting triggering, yeah, you won't even, yeah. I'm not even gonna go there. I've already dealt with the women. Now, how the hell do you think that you were designed to see all of? Come on, man. You weren't. Earth to you if you ain't get it. You weren't made to be looking at other men's Mr. Happy. You just weren't. You weren't. And so, you know, that's something right there to think about. The pornified mindset has you thinking that it's okay to look at more of other people's genitalia, male genitalia, than you can keep a track of in a day. See, that's what a pornified mindset says. It says it's okay for you to look at more dick than you can even count in one day. And then think it's okay, and then to do it tomorrow. You know, I just barely scraped the surface, but I gave you some stuff to think about, and I gave you some stuff to deal with. And you really have to rid yourself of the stuff, the places that are your hot areas that are your pornified mind. You know, like I said, objectification is one of the big ones that is always there. Because see, as you begin to treat women like the queens that they are, then that corrects all the stuff that you were saying. That corrects all the lustful looks and so on and so forth. See, as you start to treat the women like they're your sister or your mother, or the way that you want your daughter to be treated when you're not around, when you start treating them that way, you find out, you know, all that other stuff kind of takes care of itself. You wouldn't do that. Like, you know, I don't think that there's anybody that is in their, yeah, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say exactly what it is. There's not anybody in their right mind that thinks it's okay for somebody to put some kind of disgusting bodily fluid on their sister or their daughter or their mother or on their face. I don't believe that there's anybody that, hey, my sister, you know how some people do mud facials, and I'll let you finish the rest of the sentence. I mean, I don't think you're going to go out there like that. I kind of gave you a clue there, didn't I? Without giving you a clue of where you're going to be. Perhaps a standard, something that can keep you in a line. Is that the way you want your daughter treated? When you're not looking, when you're not around, is that the way you want your mom treated? When you're not around? Is that the way you wanted your sister treated? And see, the thing is if you sit there and you tell me, yeah, I don't, a couple of things. Number one, I don't even have to listen to that nonsense. Thank goodness. And number two, that's an indicator of how wrapped up you are, that you're willing to have heard everything that we said and still think that somehow that's the ultimate in showing your affection. And I heard that's a very highly searched term on the internet or some variation of that term. So again, you have to develop a healthy mindset. Usually, I don't leave you so hanging. Usually, I give you a whole bunch of stuff and developing the mindset, but I really didn't work on that on this one. I mean, this one was for you to dig and dig into the dirt and start working on getting rid of some of the dirt or identifying the dirt, and then we can talk about what is the healthy mindset later. It's really a combination of everything that we talk about come into play every day. uh I think one of the things I failed to mention also, as I was talking about the porn mindset, it's an impatient mindset. You expect something now, you expect it on your terms. uh, Most people that are the porn mindset develops a person that doesn't have any kind of empathy. You don't care about others. You can give them a nice smile, but you really don't care about anybody. You care about yourself, and that's one of the things that happens. When people do porn all the time, it's all about them. Let me get my feel good on all the time, and that's part of the becoming process. Is that it's not all about you. It's not all about you feeling good. And sometimes you're going to find that when you take it away from all just it being all about you, that because of that, there's this wonderful thing called intimacy. And because of the intimacy combined with what you're bringing to the party, the experience is greater than any kind of self-satisfying experience that you've been trying to create. And see, that's the thing that you have to be concerned with when you're out there, and you haven't gotten your mind right, is because the pornified mind will go and, okay, I'm not gonna do porn. I'm not gonna do porn. I'm gonna get a girlfriend. So what are you gonna do? Fantasize and use her as a porn doll? Because if the person hasn't changed the mindset, that's what's going to happen. I'm not trying to be like that, but that's how it is. And then as soon as the girlfriend's gone, which she'll be gone anyway, because the person has no kind of training of how to treat women and has no kind of level of intimacy that she's gonna be unfulfilled and she's gonna go. So again, yeah, grow up. Become somebody who doesn't do porn. Develop a healthy mindset. And then you won't do porn anymore. Or any other kind of sexual behavior that threatens your lives well-being. What is it? Divorces are $100,000 these days in legal fees and some of this other stuff that happens as a result of people not getting their situation under control. I mean, again, I'm not threatening. I don't like to do fear. You got enough fear in your life. That's part of the pornified mindset. You make up a whole bunch of fear and shame and guilt all the time. And you just fuel yourself, rinse and repeat off of shame and guilt. You haven't learned a strategy to deal with guilt and shame. You haven't healed. You're hiding stuff, which feeds the guilt and shame more. So those are the kinds of things that we're dealing with here. There's probably some more. I never get them all. Never done one of these and said, Joe, you said everything that you could have said, and if you had 50 years to think about it, you wouldn't have ever done it any different. I've never said that. I never thought that. I'll never give you everything in this session. I can only give you a real good meal. That's the best I can do. But the meal, it has no value unless you take some action. And so what we talked about is it's the mentality. You become, you are what you eat. You are whatever feeds your mind. And you've allowed your mind to be fed with pornography. So therefore you have a pornified mindset. We talked about things, review them, and then expand on them. What is your pornified mindset look like? How does it show up for you? Is it the objectifying? Is it when you go to a mall that you look the girls over? Because the problem with that is that you do it all the time and people can see you doing it. And you do it all the time and it's something you can't turn off all the time. And people know you're doing it. And you make people uncomfortable. And because you have a pornified mindset, you say stuff that you think is okay, but it's not okay. That's all I got for you today. I really hope, and it's my prayer, man, that you don't let yourself be run by out of control sexual behavior, masturbation, pornography, chat rooms, fangirls. Hit me up, Coach J 2020 at Gmail. Send me a message. There's a lot of alternatives, a lot of different things that you can do. You don't have to struggle. I don't know if I had said it earlier. One of the things about the pornified mindset is that you think you can do everything on your own, and you can't. And you know what's funny about the pornified mindset that I kind of discovered on my own? And you can look up those neurochemicals that I was talking about. I'm not going to really say them again because I want you to do some work. But one of them I am going to say again, oxytocin. And we call that, it's called the love neurochemical. So, like when you hug your girlfriend, when you hug um, a cat, when you hug a baby, um, it causes this oxytocin to flood your brain. Okay. So, what's bad about that is that, did you hear what I just finished saying? Oxytocin comes from hugging your wife, hugging the pet, connecting with your friends. I didn't say that, but it does. You hug them before you leave. So, one of the things that we know, people that are in addiction, and this probably is part of the pornified mind, is that they don't connect. In fact, we go as far as saying the opposite of addiction is connection. I was thinking about oxytocin because that's like, one of the benefits that you get from connecting with people. And I'm like, so if a person's PMOing and we know that one of their deficits is connecting, it's like, oh, they've juiced themselves up with so much oxytocin, that is. There's no reason to connect. Wow. Isn't that an interesting concept? So, anyway, get to work, my friends. It's one day at a time. You're worth it. You are enough. Matter of fact, you're more than enough. And you can do it. It's just follow a script, follow a plan, become intentional, shift your identity, change your mindset, allow your physiology and your mindset and your heart to change, and then allow your world to catch up. It's called patience, and it's called following the script after the change has been made. And when you do that, that's what people do that are free. And I breathe for you because it's like, dude, I don't know how bad I was drowning because I just was drowning and then I caught myself, and I was fortunate to have the right people and to have the right tools and to engage in the right tools. So I didn't have to go through all the drama that people have to go through trying to figure it out, and actually having myself be tested to what I can't do, and going through all that rinse and repeat shame and trying not to do stuff. I didn't have to do all that. It was like when I got it and the light came on, it was like, okay, I am going to not do this anymore one day, soon, real soon. And after I get there, I'm going to help a bunch of other people get there. And that's how it was, Marie. I'm going to do this. There's no, is it not going to be done? That wasn't even, forget about that. It's going to be done. And then after it's done, then I'm going to use what I learned. Because, see, I'm going to do it and I'm going to learn. And then I'm going to learn a lot. And then I'm going to use what I learned to teach others. And then I'm going to know enough that what I am not able to teach to others, I can guide them to that information. So that's what I knew that I wanted to do from the start. That was like my mindset. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you're clear about what it is that you want to do, and you have an objective, and there's a purpose, and there's a reason, and it all fits into a plan that you have that's in alignment with your plan and God's plan. There you are. So until next time, I'm Joseph F. Price, Joey P. Drive with care, walk with caution. It's a journey, one step at a time. Do it. You're worth it. You're enough. You matter. You count. I'll see you next time.